Hello and welcome to Avenging Past 7. This is day 259 of our free-to-play farming guide. And we're going to take one last look, probably one last look, at our defense. Some of y'all commented yesterday, said I don't really need CLS and Padme on defense, which I do agree. What I wonder, though, is who is going to be better on defense. My Padme team is probably my better team. So, I mean, they're at 81,000. What is this at? CLS is at 7. Okay, so, I mean, it's not that big a difference in GP. I might leave CLS on defense. Let's see, I don't have 3PO ready or even unlocked yet. So yeah, I might do this team right here. I can then remove this team. I can, let's see, we'll remove this team. And I think over here we can put my Geos, because I don't really know if I would use them for attack. But putting them in the back wall could possibly at least save me one wall. By them not seeing me do that, they use up Vader somewhere else. So then what do I put over here? I got Bounty Hunters, I got Empire, I got Galactic Republic. I could put... I got the 3 of them. I got Imperial. I got Dark Trooper. I could put Tarkin there for now. And we could work towards Range Trooper at some point. And then hopefully they can't handle my Geos. Now let's look at the ships real quick. Yeah, I think that's how I want my ships to look. I think I'm okay with those ships there. So, there's our defense for Grand Arena. Hopefully this works out rather well for us. I thought I just cleared these. No, I didn't. We'll see how it goes. Hopefully it goes well. We'll see. I'm excited about Grand Arena. I'm always excited for Grand Arena to come around, because it's kind of like the highlight. It's kind of like the reason you play the game. There's fun in collecting the characters. There's fun in the accomplishments, but you got to have something to use those accomplishments for. And with Grand Arena starting, lock-in hasn't finalized yet, but I'm not gonna have time to have those mods on Kenobi or Padme yet. So that's another thing. Still gonna be hurting from that, which it stinks. But man, those speed arrows are tough to collect. They are tough to collect. Oh, I think I'm about to go on a rant. I don't know, man. Do I want to? Should I? I think I will. It'll be a bit of a split rant, but it's a rant against the sequels, just because they frustrate me so much. But I was watching some YouTube earlier, and of course got reminded of the sequels because of it. And let's see, we'll go after Nisa while I discuss this, if I can get my cat out of the way. Oh, there's people having a worst discussion about the worst character in Star Wars, and I won't go into who their pick was. But it got me thinking about who I say the worst character is. And I say the worst character is Rose Tico. Rose Tico I find to be more annoying than Jar Jar, more annoying than the most annoying character you can ever find. I just find her character, one, as a character, to just be so very annoying. But two, I feel like she just ruins the plot. The plot of the story. And I've discussed it a few times. I believe. I'm trying to remember who it was I was talking to. I feel like it was Matt, who comments every once in a while. He's in the Discord, and of course I know him personally. I feel like I was talking to him at some point, and or at least he had commented to me about something, but sorry. I did not even enjoy watching The Last Jedi to begin with. There are some movies that I've seen that I enjoyed watching, but after having seen it, no longer liked it. Or after thinking about it, I didn't like it anymore. But I enjoyed the experience of watching it. The Last Jedi I did not even enjoy watching. But when it comes to that scene on Crate, I was on the edge of my seat because Finn, who has just constantly been running away from battles, away from the Empire, away from responsibility. He doesn't want responsibility. He wants just to be living a peaceful life. Decided to sacrifice his life so that the friends he's made can... I messed that up a bit. The friends he has made can have a chance to survive against the First Order. And Rose stops him from doing that. Rose stops him. Up until she stops him, I was just thinking to myself, if he sacrifices himself, I will appreciate this movie. I can't really say I will love this movie or I would like this movie, but I would be able to appreciate this movie quite a bit. And if you think about it, Star Wars at the core has sacrifice. The Last Jedi doesn't... The sequels, truly, but The Last Jedi even doesn't really have a sacrifice. And when I think about a sacrifice, sacrificing yourself, In Harry Potter, Harry is protected from Voldemort because of his mother's sacrifice to protect him. The mother's love is what protected Harry from any kind of danger from Voldemort up until the end of book 4 when Voldemort has Harry's blood in him. It gets complicated from there on, but that's what protected him from Voldemort up until that point. And Luke, knowing that the Death Star was going to be blown up at the end of Return of the Jedi, still went onto the Death Star to fight for his father, to fight for Vader, for Anakin. Luke knew that the rebels are actively in the process of blowing up the Death Star while he's on it. And yet, he still goes onto the Death Star. Purposely goes and gets captured. Sacrificing his own safety, his own life, to protect, or for the chance to save, one, Vader, but two, the chance to stop the Emperor if any other plan fails. That's noble. It's noble. It's love. It's stakes. I mean, it raises stakes of the movie because Luke is actively putting his life in danger, actively willing to put down his own life to protect the rest of the galaxy. I'm trying to think of, I'm sure that I'm just blindly missing a example in the prequels. Comment it down below, the example I'm missing in the sequels. What is the example of sacrifice in the prequels? Man, I'm really missing it. But either way, if Finn had died in The Last Jedi by sacrificing himself to blow up that turret so that the First Order could not get into the base, I would have appreciated that movie so much more. I would have left the theater with some emotion about that movie. About, man, that's someone I want to aspire to be like. Someone willing to sacrifice himself, his own life, to protect those that he cares about. But instead, I'm stuck there watching a whole group of people in a war actively being hunted down by their enemies. And their seemingly last chance to fight back and gain a little bit more of a protection against them is stopped because they're not going to win by fighting what they hate, but by saving what they love. And every time I hear that line, every time I think about that line, my only response is that's exactly what he was doing. He was saving what he loves. He knew to save the resistance, that cannon thing needed to be destroyed. Or else, if it was not, the First Order would get into the base. She stopped them. In the beginning of the movie, He was not running away out of fear. He was leaving so that when Rey returned, she was not returning to this entire trap of the First Order just to get her killed. She was the last Jedi. She can't just walk into a trap and die and all hope is lost. She was the new hope for those around at that time. And he tries to explain that, and Rose just takes it as cowardice. Him being courageous, him being an active part of the story was mocked by one of the main characters of the movie. I know I'm filming in darkness right now. Maybe I can brighten this up by, let's see. That should, yeah, that brightens it up a bit. I feel like Disney was just actively, Disney, Rian Johnson, was actively mocking character growth and a character arc. I like a true character arc. They were just mocking it in that movie. We have time to fix Chewie's mods. If I can learn how to spell his name. Just straight tenacity. Okay. And I hate it because I don't like it because it was the one thing from that movie I really did appreciate was Finn, for the most part. I mean, they're on the gambling planet, casino planet, whatever it was, Canto Bight, and Rose and Finn free the horses. And she makes a comment about finally glad we made a difference. And all I can think of when I see that is that you didn't make a difference. You didn't make any difference at all. All that's going to happen now is the business or people that owned those horses are going to have to spend some money to go and round up the horses from the wild and put them back in the cage. All they did was a minor inconvenience to these rich people. All they did was a minor inconvenience. They didn't take away. They didn't save the horses. They freed them into the wild. That doesn't change anything against these arms dealers. She is the worst character in Star Wars. It would make more sense for her to have been a First Order spy, actively trying to foil the Resistance's plans, actively revealing the plans to the First Order, than it would for anything else. She actively foiled the Resistance and supported the First Order multiple times, let alone even forgetting that Admiral Holdo is out there. That Admiral Holdo is in this movie. And she's not the spy. I'm trying to remember how old my sister was at that time. Let's see. The Last Jedi release date 2017. Golly. We're in 2023, so that's 3. So 6 years ago. My sister was like 12 or 13. And I remember my sister leaning over to my dad while watching the movie and asking, "Is she the spy?" Because all signs are pointing that there is a spy in the Resistance feeding information to the First Order about where the hyperspace is jump point is. And, you know, where they're going, what their plans are, what's happening. It seems like there's a spy throughout the entire movie. And the reveal is that there is no spy. Somehow, the reveal is that there is no spy. And yet, throughout the whole movie, Admiral Holdo is acting like a spy. I don't understand it. I really do not understand at all anything about this movie. It does not make sense to me. The fact that they can set everything up for one thing and then just no, it's nothing. It's nothing. They just have a tracker. They can suddenly track through hyperspace now. Now, how did they get the tracker on it? Who cares? They have a hyperspace tracker. Y'all don't understand just how confused I am with The Last Jedi. And what confuses me even more, what really does, is... What's the name of the movies? I'm gonna have to look it up. Hold on. What really confuses me is Knives Out. Because Rian Johnson also wrote Knives Out and directed it. And Knives Out is a brilliantly written movie where things happen throughout the movie that set up what happens in the second half of the movie, that informs you of who the killer is. It really does. Throughout the whole movie, there's all these small little cookie crumbles leading the way through that you notice, you question it, but for one, you're not given enough time to think about it before the next scene is happening. And as you're piecing everything together, then the detective starts piecing things together. And then you're like, whoa. I see it now. That makes sense. I understand. And Rian Johnson was a part of all of that. He was. And he did a fantastic job with Knives Out. But my question becomes, why wasn't The Last Jedi a murder mystery movie? Or at least a mystery movie? Why didn't he do The Last Jedi in a similar way that he did Knives Out? You want to have the enemy right on the tail of the Resistance. The First Order following the Resistance the whole movie. Cool. You can have the good guys and the bad guys in close proximity to each other throughout the whole movie. That is an interesting premise. That is, danger on their heels. That is, you can work with that. Now you want to put the illusion of a spy in. Okay, well, actually just put a spy in the room. Let something happen early on. Say, even, the spy kills General Leia. Okay, General Leia has been killed. Someone in this room did it. We are hiding here on this planet. We know the First Order is on this planet looking for us, and General Leia has been killed. So now everyone in the base, in the secret hidden base that is right underneath the First Order's nose as they're looking for it, so danger on their heels, someone in this base is a spy, which means the First Order probably knows where we are, but we don't know who the spy is. And so now, throughout the whole movie, Rey is off training. Let's have her actually be training from Luke. Have her be Luke's last Jedi Padawan. The last Jedi Padawan. Small little Padawan there. Have her be the last Jedi Padawan of Luke Skywalker. That would be cool. Have her meet some Force ghosts, like have her meet Yoda. She did. Have her meet Ahsoka. Have her meet Mace Windu. Have her meet Qui-Gon. Have her meet Obi-Wan. Have her meet Anakin. Anakin can be a Force ghost Jedi that can explain what the dark side is to her. He can tell her what is happening to Ben Solo, as she knows she's going to have to deal with him. What is he dealing with for her to help him out of that? Anakin can be a Force ghost that can explain that. We know he's a Force ghost. And throughout this movie, there's a spy. The First Order is probably aware of where the Resistance is. They're just waiting for the right time to come in. And the rest of the Resistance, Finn and Poe, are trying to figure it out. And you can even set it up where Admiral Holdo looks like she's the spy. And Rose looks like she's their friend. Like she's one of them. But she keeps foiling their plans to find out. She keeps messing up. She keeps stopping them. In the name of love. In the name of we're not going to win by fighting what we hate, but saving what we love. Continuously. And in the end of the movie, you can even have Rey show up. Rey shows up. She's here. She fights off the First Order that's waiting outside for them. She fights them off. Her and Chewie and BB-8. BB-8 was not with them. Never mind. Her and Chewie fights off the First Order. They open the doors, and everyone's standing there with guns pointed at each other because they don't know who the spy is anymore, and they can't tell, and it's driving them crazy. And Rey walks in and finds out, and she uses the Force to discover that it was Rose Tico. And that's when everyone puts it together. That's when Finn puts it together. She's been foiling their plans all along. She's been messing up all along. She's been stopping them all along. It wasn't Holdo. Holdo was just paranoid, like everyone. And that's why Holdo was accusing Poe so many times and demoting Poe so many times. Because Holdo was paranoid about this spy, just like everyone else. But Rose was a good spy until there was a Jedi there that could use the Force to sense that she did not have good intentions for being there. And they can lock her up. The Jedi were peacekeepers. The Jedi, if you look at Knights of the Old Republic, the Jedi, one of the most memorable missions to myself was you meet people on a bridge arguing, and you have to be the mediator to help mediate the situation, to help get them to come to an agreement. Hopefully, the light side of it is to come to an agreement. Both sides are happy, I believe, and all is good. Dark side, I think, is you end up killing one of them because they didn't agree or something like that. Or dark side is you choose one side and not both. The Jedi are peacekeepers. They become warriors out of necessity. So there's my defense for that. But there's my idea for what should have changed with The Last Jedi. What I think it would have been better. I think that Rian Johnson does a really good job writing a mystery movie, writing a mystery story. And I think that Rian Johnson could have done a great job if that is what he wrote for Star Wars, was a very contained, subverted expectations, I think for sure. I mean, you have Admiral Holdo show up out of nowhere. You have Rose Tico show up out of nowhere. And both of them seem suspicious, but Holdo is actively against your hero. Because that was my biggest problem, is you have rumors about a spy. You have the First Order acting like they have knowledge they should not have. You have a new leader of the Resistance show up, and she immediately is against against Poe. Poe is a hero of the story. We saw he was a hero in the first movie. We saw he is a hero in the first scene of the second movie. We know as fans, as movie viewers, we're supposed to root for Poe, and Poe is a good guy. So when you have Admiral Holdo show up out of nowhere, and all these other things going on that makes it look like there's a spy, and Admiral Holdo is so against Poe, well, she's the spy. It just makes sense. And if you want to subvert expectations, which I hate how he says it so much, the best way to do it is for there to actually be a spy, but Holdo was paranoid and so acted the way she did, and Rose Tico, who was actively foiling the plans, but making it look like it was with good intentions, be the spy. I really like this idea. I've never had this. This entire idea came up here on the spot. So please comment down below. Tear it apart. Show me all of the things I have wrong with my ideas. Now they are, of course, just my ideas and my opinions. But I just think Rian Johnson could have done some really cool things. He has that potential in him. He's shown that potential with other movies. But with Star Wars, he just didn't have it. Which probably comes down in part to executives putting their hands in there in the story, changing things. It comes down to J.J. Abrams setting up a specific story and then Rian Johnson not wanting to write that story but wanting to change it into his own. It comes down to a lot of things. But I think Rian Johnson could write a really cool, really good Star Wars movie if he stuck with what he's good at, which I think is murder mystery, or at the least mystery stories. I'd love to hear your thoughts on all of that, so please comment down below if you stuck around this long. I really hope you did. I need to start doing more of these. I need to start doing rant videos and learning how to edit rant videos. I feel like I could do well with that. If I could just learn how to edit, which is not something I really want to do. Does not feel like something I'm good at. I don't think I have the mind for it. But I hope y'all have a great day. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, subscribe, and send it to someone. Even if they don't play Galaxy of Heroes, if you think that they would enjoy this video just on the topic and what I talked about, please share this video with any friend or family that you have that you think would enjoy this video. And ask them what they thought. Y'all have a fantastic day, and may the Force be with you.